old woman was coming down the stairs. The housemaid was cleaning the stairs. The old woman touched the stair railing and saw it was dusty. She shouted at the maid, "Is this how you clean?" The maid replied, "I still had to clean this part." The old woman got angry and pushed the poor maid down the stairs. The poor girl fell and broke her arm. The next day, the old woman was sitting on a chair while the poor maid was working. Suddenly, the old woman's husband came to the maid and asked, "What are you making?" The cruel old woman also came near. The husband saw the maid's arm and asked her, "What happened to your arm?" The maid said, "Nothing happened." Then the husband asked his wife, "Her arm is injured and she is still working. What happened?" The old woman lied, "It's just a small injury. She will be fine." The poor maid said, "Papa, it's just a small fracture. I'll be okay." The husband told his wife, "You do this work and let her rest." The old woman took her husband away. The next day, the old woman tore her own clothes and came to the maid shouting, "Why did you tear my clothes?" The maid said, "I didn't tear them. When I ironed them, they were fine." The old woman yelled, "If you didn't tear them, did they tear by themselves?" While shouting, the old woman suddenly got a headache. She accused the maid, "You must have put something in my food. That's why my head hurts." The maid said, "I didn't put anything." Suddenly, the old woman fell on the bed. The maid called her husband and told him she had fainted. The husband took her to the hospital. The doctor came out, and the husband asked, "What happened to my wife?" The doctor said, "Her blood pressure was very high, and it affected her brain." The next day, the husband, the doctor, and the poor maid stood near her bed. The old woman said, "This girl gave me something to eat that made me sick." The poor maid replied, "You have treated me badly every day. You hit me, hurt me, and because of that, today, you are lying in this bed." She turned to leave, while the old woman shouted behind her. The husband told his wife, "You are so cruel. You hurt an innocent poor girl. That's why you are in this condition now." The old woman said, "Forgive me." The husband replied, "You don't deserve forgiveness. You hurt a poor girl. I have nothing to do with you now." He left her and went away. The old woman started crying. The doctor said, "Don't do this. It's bad for your health." But she shouted at the doctor too. Outside, the poor maid was crying. The old man came to her and said, "Daughter, let's go home. She has received punishment for her sins." Then the old man and the poor maid went home together.